Today, I bring to you a rare cultural insight into the Indo-French relations through this interview with Miss Patricia Loison, whose journey spans across continents and professions, from New Delhi to Paris, from journalist to author, and now the director of Alliance Française de Delhi. Thank you so much for being. Could you give us an insight into the commencement of Alliance and how, through its significant presence in India, the Delhi chapter specifically, it contributes to the Indo-French cultural relations?
So most of the alliance around the world, there are more than I think oh, at least maybe between 100 and 200 alliance across the world. We are everywhere. And the very peculiar thing about alliance is, and it's the case in Delhi, is that they have been created by the local people. So ours was created in 19 officially in the 1956, I think, by a bunch of very educated men, um, working in the ministries or teaching French or writers. They were in love with the French culture and they have decided to create a French club. And little by little, they started teaching French, organizing cultural events back in the 50s, in the 40s. And then they became officially Alliance Française of Delhi in 1956 or 1958. I'm not quite sure. But the very peculiar side of Alliance is at the very beginning, most of them have been created by the local people. So it gives some authenticity to the institution. They are real lovers of the French culture. Like nobody forced anything on them.
That sounds really interesting, the history. Um, Alliance Française regularly hosts French film festivals and festivals. How do these cinematic events contribute to cultural exchange and shape perceptions of France among Indian audiences?
So first of all, our main audience when we do events is an Indian audience. First of all, is it's our students, so young, educated, high educated Indians who are finishing their bachelor or their masters, because we want our students to enjoy our cultural events. It's another way to learn French. We are very stubborn and proud of this message that French is not only taught in the classroom, but also relies on everything they can afford for free in our campus, which is art exhibition, workshops, French bookshop and library, and our cultural events. And of course, as you know, culture is also a soft power. So it's a way to connect with the country you live in and where your institution has settled. But it's also a way to share values, to see what we have in common. And we always try in a fine balance to connect with the Indian and the French audience as well. So it's a real political tool to have with us, and all countries do the same. You know, as I said already, when you share your culture, you share more than culture and language. You share a mindset and you share the core values of your country, I would say.
Right. Adding on to this, what distinguishes French soft power from that of other countries?
I think we're very lucky because maybe we have less work to do because France and French culture, as French food, is so renowned around the world. We're still a very small country, but you know, everybody knows Paris. Um, the Americans even stole it from us with Emily in Paris. So everybody knows Paris, everybody knows Monet, everybody knows Eiffel Tower. So we are, I mean, we are starting this race with the others with a big leap of ahead of them, right? Because Paris is so shining everywhere you go in the world. you know Paris. I'm not sure that everywhere in the world you would know, uh, Berlin, even though Berlin is amazing, or if you would know Santiago of Chile, nobody knows maybe the other capitals, but Paris is like on the top of everything. So this helps us a lot. First of all, because it attracts a lot. Um, I think it's also related to history and the French Revolution and also the story of our royalties and kings, Versailles, for example, that have put and make the French culture shine so bright. And so we have a very strong power of attraction through culture. So we have less work to do, I think, to attract the Indian audience if we talk about India. Um, Maybe some smaller or less known countries have more work to do. But on the other side, it can also be tricky. We cannot just rely on, Versailles and Eiffel Tower and croissant. We need also to show that we are not stuck in the 18th century and that French culture can also be modern, that can also be connected with the young audience, and that French language is not only something that you would hear in a TV show or on a theater stage. So it has two sides to it.
Sounds interesting. Um, as someone who personally loves learning the French language, I'm particularly interested in knowing if you see a rising interest in French among Indian youth beyond academic purposes.
Young, educated Indian crowd wants to study. I have noticed sometimes it's very related to geopolitics. We have here at Alliance, you can take multiple exams that are recognized officially by the French government, but also by Francophone countries. And for a while, everybody came here to take the official exam that would take you to Canada, for example, because Canada was like this dreamland of immigration for, talented, high educated people, doctors, engineers, teachers, because Canada was looking for, Canada is, and especially French speaking part of Canada is always looking to have more French speakers. But the Indians would go not in the French side because you guys are naturally French, English speakers. So they would go to the English part, but they would use their French diploma to be more competitive than the others. Because when you migrate to Canada, you have a system of points. So you are an engineer, you get 10 points. You speak English, you get 15. And there are many Indians like this. But if you speak French, you get 20, right? So they would come here to go to Canada because the relationships to Canada was a good one with India at the time. You know what happened lately between Canada and India? Then we have less and less young Indian who wants to go there because it's too complicated. So they would go, for example, to Germany because Germany is making it easy for a different crowd of young Indians, less higher education, more practical, like still engineers, but not that higher level, or cooking or maintenance, plumber, this kind of jobs Germany is looking for, and is making it very easy if you know German, then to have your visa and migrate or go for education. France, so to answer, this is the kind of background I've discovered when I joined. To answer precisely to your question, Alliance Française is at the same time Indo-French Independent Culture Center with its own board members, which is an Indian board. And myself and my deputy director, we are sent and hired by the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So we have really 2 foot, right? 2 feet. And as an extension kind of away of the French embassy, we have in-house a dedicated French embassy office who takes care of higher education in France. So when you come to study French at Alliance, you can go to your regular French class. But if you go have a coffee at the cafeteria downstairs, you will walk in front of this higher education office. And if you push the door, this can be your highway to France, right? So it's a real service that we give, but it's not easy. France is very, if you compare to Germany, for example, France is really has a very, how you say that? France has a very exclusive vision of higher studies.
Right.
So we would look for very brilliant students, very fluent in French, who wants to be actually, very qualified engineers, very qualified teachers, very qualified doctors, very qualified artists. So, but we do have uh, more and more um, young Indian students, highly educated, interested in doing their masters in France, because we have very good universities which are not as renowned as the US or Canada or the UK, but who are as good and less expensive. So, we are playing on that card as well.
Right.
We're playing on that card as well. But we need to communicate. As I was telling you, French and France is so renowned, and sometimes French are so full of themselves that they think that everybody know their higher education. Everybody know the Sorbonne University, which is one of the best, universities to study literature. Everybody knows. They think everybody knows about our political institutes, which are so renowned in Europe and even in the US. So we think people know, right?
Right.
But no, in India is like 1 billion people that don't know, they don't have time to look for it. So the little, how do you say that in English? The little thing we need to work on is communication. We need to advertise more, to my opinion, about the higher education we have to offer. But we do a lot. We do a French campus tour, universities come here. We communicate about it with our students. And I think they feel it's a good alternative to between the US, who between you and me politically are going crazy right now, and sometimes the security is not there. UK, which remains very expensive, and here is can be a choice.
Right.
So I'm sorry, the answer was long, but I wanted to give some background and some details.
That was a very detailed and comprehensive answer. It was quite nice. Yeah. I'll just ask you one more question.
Yeah.
With the various digital platforms coming into the picture, like Duolingo, what is your take on human interaction still being the key in mastering a foreign language?
So once again, two points there. We all the alliance around the world, and I think all the schools suffered so much during COVID, no? Because we thought we would die, no, but the schools were closed, blah, blah, blah. Online classes saved us at that time. But then when we reopened, as many schools here, we feared that online classes would kill us, no? Because the core of teaching is, as you said, a teacher, a class, and students eager to come and, get this knowledge from a very experienced person. Luckily, in India, I observed that there is this huge respect for teachers and this huge, even a passion for studying in class. Like we were so lucky that our students came back. They wanted to come back. They want face-to-face teaching. And we're very good at that. So we almost came back to our levels from 2019. But we cannot deny, you were talking about Duolingo, that the online Instagram apps, are very, very hard competitors to us. I mean, when I say us, it's us French, us Germans, us Spanish, us Japanese, us Chinese. We need to prove what is the difference between coming here in my institution and learning there, right? So that means we need to get even better in the way we teach. That's why I have a deputy director dedicated to higher education only here. I mean, to teaching French. That's why we torture our teachers to say, we don't teach like in 1900 anymore. Even if the kids love you, you need to give more. And we advertise a lot about something I told you already, is that we are a campus. We have an auditorium, we have an art gallery, we have artists visiting from France, we have speakers coming from France, we are connected to the French embassy, we are connected to I'm the vice president for the cluster as Marianne. You know where Marianne, you interviewed Marianne already. So we are part with as Marianne and the others of these European institution, cultural institution clusters. So the kids who come here, they can also have access to this kind of event that we do with the other. So it's a whole new, I mean, it's a, a little small French European world that they can access when they just come to Lodi Garden. You step inside and you are connected to France and to Europe. So it's a very, very added value that you cannot get through Duolingo, no? You can get this. But this being said, that we are more than a face-to-face teaching, we are more than a class because we have shows, events, speakers, talks, debates, embassies, partnership with EU. We need to also be good with new technologies. So as Alliance, we are, thinking now how we can really embrace these new ways of teaching. Why not have some class that you can start online and then that you can join us physically? Why not have more work that you can do independently with a website dedicated to Alliance, and teachers can correct later and then review with the teacher. So we need to adapt to these new Duolingo ways of teaching. My conviction as a person and as a director of French institution here is that we and French, German, Spanish, uh, we need to embrace this technological revolution, because it's the same when, computers appeared, or when printing appeared in the 16th century and books appeared for everybody. We cannot stay away from this. We cannot say, oh, it's new, it's going to kill us, because I think if we don't make it ours in a way, then not tomorrow, not in 10 years, but I don't think you can remain a high regarded teaching institution if you don't try to make yours these new tools. That's what I think.
Right. All right. Thank you so much. Um,
You're very welcome.
if it's all right, can we do a little quick rapid fire round? I'll ask you about five,
Sure,
right?
sure, sure, sure.
One French word every Indian should know.
S'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît is please. And when you're lost somewhere and you need to ask help for help, or you need some info, if you say s'il vous plaît, it's going to save you. It's
Um,
like please.
right. A French artist you think Indians should discover?
French artist India should discover. Johnny Hallyday, but he died, but I loved his songs. He's a very popular French singer. He had the French president gave him official funerals. He was very, very popular, not very elite, but I hear his voice and I go somewhere else.
An Indian city you love the most?
But for now, it would be Delhi, because I've been working so much that I'm really learning to discover this capital city and making it my own. And I start to have my favorite places here and there. I'm going to be, before I leave, a perfect Delhiite, because on most of the directors are like me. A lot of events are happening on the weekends and we cannot travel as much as we would like to. So I hope to discover India more. But for now, I have to say Delhi, because the other cities I really don't know.
Okay, so Delhi in one French word.
Vibrant, vibrant.
Last question. One cultural stereotype about France you'd like to debunk?
Um, One culture, like traits of France that I would like to share.
Yeah.
I think Indian guys, even though feminism is something I fight for, could be more caring about the ladies in the public space. like hold the doors, let you go first, you know, hold your chair in the restaurant like some men would do in France. Here is like they slap your door in the face, they go in front of you in a file, like the gallantry, you know, taking care with the very with grace when you're with a lady friend or even when you're some in some public space. I think that would be a good thing for Indian gentlemen to learn from.
Thank you so much. This was an
The-
incredible interview. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, sorry for my English. Sometimes I don't get the word, so I'm sorry about this.
Completely all right.
It's okay?
Yes, yes, of course.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye. Bye.
Bye.